this shirt. My wife bought this for me. It's pretty nice. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. Did I turn my light on? Yeah, I did. Oh, I forgot if I turned my light on. Today we're listening to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This time with two songs. We're listening to The Sheriff, leading into Hoedown, off of their album Trilogy, which was released in 1972. So far, this album is shaping up to be quite the good album. I really like their self-titled. I like Brain Salad Surgery. But so far, this one's hitting all the marks that I like from ELP. Speaking of The Sheriff, maybe this is a bit of a loaded question. You don't have to share, but when was your last encounter with law enforcement? That's such a loaded question. The last time, and I think actually the only time that I've ever been pulled over by the police was because my tag had expired. I just forgot to renew it, you know? And that was my fault. I knew it was expired. I just didn't have the time, i.e. I was lazy and I didn't feel like renewing it. Anyways, you guys are more than welcome to join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below, and let's jump into it. This is ELP with The Sheriff going into Hoedown. I'm so confused because they played a rhythm in there or a melody that I definitely know what it was. Like I've definitely heard it before, but I can't tell. Where is that from? Like you guys are gonna fill me in so quick because where is that from? It's kind of like it's like how they snuck in. Didn't they snuck in Sonny Rollins? I think before over on Carnival. But what is that melody from? That's gonna be bothering me for a little bit. Maybe I can find it here somewhere. But these two songs really cool because they both have a very Western vibe. I would say that the first song, Sheriff, has more of like a cowboy Western kind of vibe, and yes, by the lyrics, but definitely by the music itself. Whereas Hoedown almost had a more country Western kind of vibe. I don't know. Different sides of the same coin, I suppose. The Sheriff I really liked because it reminded me story-wise of Benny the Bouncer, right? That song, to me, especially on the album, Brain Salad Surgery, is a little bit of a sore thumb. It stands out a little bit and not in like the best way possible. It just, to me, doesn't really make sense within the cohesion of Brain Salad Surgery. But whatever, that's a story for another time. And that time has passed because I did that video already. But here, with the Sheriff, still has a similar kind of story. We still get that honky-tonk piano that you would hear in like saloons and that kind of thing. We still have that in here. It's better integrated. The story is better sung. It's not as, I guess, tongue-in-cheek, which I guess may have also been the purpose of Benny the Bouncer. You know, maybe that was made to be a little bit more of an out there and really fun song. Kind of self-parodying, maybe, even the style they were going for. But with the Sheriff, I like this more. This is a lot more listenable. Greg sounds fantastic. Emerson sounds really, really good doing the organ, and like I said, the honky-tonk piano. Such a weird word to say. And then drumming. Carl Palmer opens up with a little bit of a solo before bouncing into the rest of the movie. Before bouncing into the rest of the song. Sounds fantastic. This rhythm that they have, I like that a lot. To me, has a lot more bounce and rhythm than Benny the Bouncer. And they're still doing the same thing in telling a story, right? I mean, the lyrics are clearly a point A to point B narrative. But, as I mentioned, it sounds more cohesive. It actually makes sense. To me, it's more enjoyable. And it fits within the mood of the album. Yeah. And right there, we still have the organ, but that's when the piano enters in. So I like how the piano is integrated even before it becomes the lead and eventually does a solo near the end. And even that portion at the end where it really goes off into a saloon kind of vibe, even at the end there, it still to me makes more sense within the context of the song, within the context of the album. And to me, the fact that it's, you know, a section unto itself at the end of the song rather than kind of inserted into the middle of the song and breaking up the mood of it, you know, is a better decision and a better choice. That's a really cool melody. And like I said, when it leads into Hoedown, it actually kind of retains that same spirit. Still have a Western kind of sound to it, but just changing it up a little bit. Almost in a more carnival, folky way. Maybe it's me, but it definitely still has that same spirit in it. The bass playing, Greg, really turned up here. Emerson, as usual, he's going off and doing his thing. And this piece, which is instrumental, feels like, and I guess this goes for a lot of ELP's music, it feels like what progressive rock is, right? Just like doing as much as you can in the time that you have. And I feel like this song, for me personally, Hoedown, is right on the line between being like, not a good song, but being a song that I like, but Hoedown is close to being just a little bit too much. I understand contextually and historically how cool this would sound back in 1976, did I say? I think it was 1972. And it does still sound cool today. I just don't like too much like instrumental, I don't want to say pretentiousness, and I don't want to say like over embellishment, but I think you guys kind of know what I mean. After a while of this type of instrumental, it doesn't hit the same emotional notes that even a song like The Sheriff would do. This one, after a while of extending the talents, which obviously there's a ton of talent in the way they play, I get kind of bored, to be honest. That's cool. I really like that change up though. Palmer's just crazy on here. This little call and response section between Palmer and Emerson, that's really cool. I like the distortion rising up and muddying these waters. That's interesting. Really, really high-pitched playing right here. What is that melody? It's actually driving me just a little bit crazy. Not a lot, but it's a little bit. I'm looking through all of my tabs here to open that to see if I find anything that explains that. Hoedown is a cover of Hoedown from the ballet Rodeo by Aaron Copland. It became the opening song for both Trilogy and Brain Salad Surgery tours. So Hoedown from the ballet Rodeo. Okay, let's see if that's where that melody comes from, because it sounds familiar. I've never heard of Rodeo. Hoedown Rodeo. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. I've never heard of this, by the way, as far as I know. Okay. I guess. Okay. I can hear it. I can hear it. Okay. Okay. It's starting to make sense a little bit here. So that makes a little more sense. See, sometimes you just need a little more context into your knowledge. Excuse me. Let's talk about the lyrics really quick on Sheriff. Big Kid Josie rode away in the sunset-covered sky. A lynching mob had strung his friend up right before his eyes. He didn't know that or what they'd both done. He sure as hell would end up hung or help to notch the sheriff's gun if he didn't move on, get out of here. Josie better run. Looks like the sheriff is chasing after Josie. The Josie said that he would put a bullet right through poor old Josie's chest. Josie wasn't like the rest. He don't like bullet holes in his vest. I like how he doesn't want the bullet holes in his vest. Not in his chest. He's just concerned about his fashion. In fact, he'd do his very best. Don't want any arrest. Don't want to be the guest of the sheriff. Yeah, he doesn't want to be the guest of the sheriff because that would mean you're a guest in the sheriff's house, hotel, which is jail. And eventually the sheriff caught up to Josie and the song ends. Sheriff rode him into town with Josie looking sad. He didn't know about the 6-gun Big Kid Josie had. So he brought in Josie without checking him. Is it the first step of when you arrest someone, you're supposed to pat them down and make sure they don't have weapons? Then Josie drew his gun real fast, gave the sheriff one big blast. Now Josie runs the town at last, a legend from the past. Nobody ever messed with the sheriff. As the saying goes, there's a new sheriff in town. You know what Western I really liked? I think it was called Two Mules for Sister Sarah. Was it Two Mules? Or was it One Mule? No, it must have been Two Mules. That's a really good movie. I like Clint Eastwood. You guys can join me on Twitter. Definitely let me know what you thought of both of the songs. What else do I usually say? Twitter, the comments. You can join me on Patreon. All of that cool stuff. Like and subscribe to the video if you haven't. Before you press the X, before you leave the video, just do me a favor and click the like button. It tells YouTube and the algorithm that, hey, people like this video. Maybe we should recommend this video to more people. Anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful night, a beautiful day, a fantastic morning, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.